Hello everyone. I am a researcher and I'm going to discuss about one of the biggest debate from long time, that who will win the battle between Goku and the Superman. There are many sites and blogs, videos on the internet. Some are biased to the Goku, some are biased to the Superman. But I am not going to downplay Goku, just like the screw attack did before, and now I will downplay the Superman. So basically, I will use the all transformations of Goku, excluding the SSJ4, because he is from GT, and I will use all versions of the Superman except Prime 1 million, because Prime 1 million is the Superman's ultimate form and Ultra Instinct is not Goku's ultimate form. Goku's ultimate form may appear in the Dragon Ball series when it will end completely in the future. I also don't consider the Cosmic Armor Superman for the comparison, because he is a thought robot and he is not a Superman himself. So let's start the comparison. First of all, Goku is universal and his feats are universal. There will be many DC fans who will not agree with me here. But in the Battle of God arcs from the DBS, the Beerus was using his 10% of the power against newly formed SSG God Goku. While in the Battle of Gods movie, Whis mentioned that Beerus is using his 70%. But since the Dragon Ball Super anime came afterwards, so they changed this fact to the Beerus using his 10%. So when Goku punched the Beerus in the space, there were massive waves which were created and which has the potential of destroying the universe, shattering the dimensions, space and reality. So basically, Goku shows the potential of destroying all the cosmic bodies in the universe like planets, stars, etc. And then you could imagine his striking power when he became the Super Saiyan God. And Vegeta also mentioned that if Goku and Beerus keep striking each other, then they could have destroyed the universe itself, and the same statement was given by Whis. Now I would like to talk about Goku's black hole feat. He uses Ki to disintegrate the black hole, and we know that there is no physical energy in the existence which could destroy or disintegrate the black hole. This pretty black hole might be heart shaped, but it seems that it's about 50 meters in diameter if we consider it spherical. Now I would like to take your attention to the Ki. What is Ki? Ki is nothing but spiritual energy. It comes from the Goku's body, and the spiritual energy is not a physical energy like heat, chemical or nuclear energy. And Goku uses this non-physical energy, unlike the Superman uses the solar radiation or solar energy, you can say. The spiritual energy transcends the physical energy. No kind of physical energy can be compared to the spiritual energy. Spiritual energy disintegrates everything, including quantum space, like the Hakai of Zeno-sama or Lord Beerus. And that's why Goku do not need Hakai or Kamehameha into 10. He can just throw the energy or hit the Superman by expelling the energy from his body, and the Superman's body will start disintegrating. So even if we have a quantum Superman, he will still face the difficulty. Also, do not confuse with the spherical energy with the magic, because in the Dragon Ball Z manga, the Gohan explains the spiritual energy in the Japanese, which we called it as a ki, and it has nothing to do with the magic. These are two totally different things. Also, Superman could never be immune to the spiritual energy, because the concept of spiritual energy does not belong to the DC Comics. DC Comics is mostly based on the physics. So with Hakai, it can do much more damage to the Superman than with the Ki Blast. Also note that there is no definition of spiritual energy, and spiritual energy is called as a divine energy, and in physics there is no equation for that. So if you go by the physics way, you will not get what it means by the spiritual energy. You have to go by the way of mythology now. If you go by the way of mythology, then there are many ancient textbooks like the Mahabharata or Veda, some Hindu textbook, religious textbook, which we can tell you about the spiritual energy. And it has been mentioned there that only Indian god possesses the spiritual energy. Now go back to the Dragon Ball. During the tournament of power in Dragon Ball Super, the Golden Frieza fought against the Toppo. In a scene, the Frieza fires energy ball enough to destroy a planet, and Toppo as a response fire a few centimeter size Hakai ball, which ultimately disintegrates the multiple times bigger energy ball of a Frieza. In other words, a small Hakai erases the planetary disk to level energy. I am not saying that Goku can fire Hakai, he haven't reached to that level yet. But his ki energy is like a low level Hakai. In simple word, Hakai is a high level spiritual energy while ki is a low level spiritual energy in Dragon Ball. But in manga, Goku wants Hakai's Hamatsu, but he was not able to erase him because his Hakai was not that strong enough to erase him, just like the Lord Bears have. So consequently, it won't be like a Superman walking through the ki blast, just in a case of a screw attacks video. You can see here how the ki blast or the Kamehameha has destroyed the Frieza and the Cell at atomic level by Goku and Gohan respectively in Dragon Ball Z and in the Dragon Ball Super. Now here comes the survival point. How much heat Goku can resist? Because unlike Superman, Goku can use his ki to protect himself from intense heat. Because his body do not have property to stay in the heat unless he uses his ki, and Superman body is immune to heat. He can spend a lot of time inside Sun's core. But in the Battle of Gods arc in the Dragon Ball Super, Goku manages to absorb the energy ball attack from the Beerus. Even the Beerus accelerates its energy by shooting the energy beam towards the energy ball, which you can see here, making it more difficult for the Goku to destroy it since it has energy to destroy the Earth within seconds. Moreover, the energy blast keep increasing in the size as well. Finally, Goku managed to absorb it in his base form with a Zenkai boost. But in the DBS anime, he disintegrated the Beerus energy ball with a single strike. And in the Battle of Gods movie, they show that he's absorbing it. So we will consider the anime. This energy ball, which is shot by the Beerus, actually seems a lot denser and hotter than the supernova, which is used to be produced by Frieza and cooler previously in Dragon Ball Z. It's because the Goku attained the Super Saiyan God form this time, and previously in the Super Saiyan 1 form, he managed to drag the cooler supernova to the sun. In simple words, this energy ball, which was shot by the Beerus, or made by the Beerus you can say, is way hotter than the supernova and is highly dense. But still we can consider it as multiple times denser than the sun's core if you don't believe in this fact or evidence. Now we go to the Golden Frieza's arc. It was a time when the Super Saiyan Blue Goku defeated the Golden Frieza, and Goku thought that he will admit his defeat and will turn from evil to good. But in the scene, one of Frieza's army member fired a laser from the backside of the Goku and Goku almost died. Then the Vegeta interfered and beat down the Frieza. This happens in the Dragon Ball Super episode 26. Earlier movie, Frieza Resurrection of F shows that Goku was taking the laser beam in the Super Saiyan Blue form, while in anime they show that Goku taking the laser beam when he removed all of his ki in the base form. This means that the Super Saiyan Blue Goku taking the laser is no longer true, because the Dragon Ball Super anime remade the Battle of God movie and Golden Frieza movie as well. And we know that the writer and the production company have a right to alter the story, just like the Superman have a different version written by different writers in the DC comics. There is also possibility that the ray gun laser beam may have contained the energy of Golden Frieza laser, but I am not sure about it. Another evidence, if the Goku was vulnerable in his base form as a human, then how could he in his base form lifted heavy weights on the King Kai planet in early Dragon Ball Super? By the way, he have done lot of things in his base form before. Secondly, when Goku was shot from the Frieza's army member, that was a time when Goku newly became the Super Saiyan Blue. Now after a tournament of power, his Super Saiyan Blue is way stronger, and with Ultra Instinct, you can imagine his power. More importantly, it has been theme of Dragon Ball that more Saiyan fight, more stronger they become and overcome their weakness. Actually, before the tournament of power, Goku overcomes this issue of getting weakened by laser when Zamasu stabbed Goku with his laser built knife and made a hole in the left side of his chest. But it didn't affect the Goku, unlike it affects when he was fighting with the Frieza before. And then Goku beats up the Zamasu and the Black Goku. Okay, now here comes the tricky part. Can Goku stay in the space? I am not saying to breathe in the space because nobody can breathe in the space actually. Well, the fan says that Goku and Lord Beerus were fighting in the stratosphere where the some oxygen is present. There are several moments in the whole Dragon Ball series where Saiyans like Gohan, Goku and Vegeta were in the space. Now if they were in the stratosphere in the Battle of Gods arc, then we would have seen them as we see out of the window of aeroplane while traveling inside of it. We might have seen space everywhere and blue earth, but we see only clouds actually there. It's because the usually planes fly at the layer of stratosphere where some oxygen is present and air is thin and very cold, which actually cannot be used by the human. We can breathe in the plane just because of the plane's mechanism which take out the outside air and warm it for us and can also maintain the pressure at which we can survive. So this means that the Goku and Beerus were above the stratosphere, probably in the ionosphere or somewhere in the mesosphere. Now the thing is that why they show Goku or other Saiyan breathing in the space? Before we move to its answer, we must take a look at the Tournament of Power in Dragon Ball Super. It's mentioned that Tournament of Power is completely in a space and there is no source of oxygen for the fighters. Then the question comes, how do humans like Krillin and the Master Roshi survived at the Tournament of Power? But to answer that question, I will simply suggest to think about one thing, that Krillin and the Master Roshi used to fly, used to make ki blast, and they fight aliens also. So ultimately, I will conclude that Dragon Ball is a fictional, and we know that it's a fictional, just like a DC. This all concludes that the god forms of Saiyans can stay and fight in space, and Goku is an alien, just like a Superman. Now here comes the Superman. Superman is basically based on solar energy, just like Goku who is based on his ki spiritual energy. Solar energy comes from the sun, and the Superman has the ability to spend a lot of time inside the sun's core. He can go near to it to absorb the energy which recharges him. But it means that he is a battery. I cannot calculate his limit of absorbing the solar energy, and it's not mentioned anywhere in the comics that how much he could absorb, except the thing that he became the Superman Prime 1 million after spending 15,000 years inside the sun's core. Maybe this could be his limit, but he has to remain there for 15,000 years. Well, we don't know what Goku will become throughout his transformation for the same period of time. Superman uses this stored energy after amplifying it for his feat. He could destroy multiple solar systems and even galaxy to multiple galaxies by the solar flare, and that will completely drain him off, and he won't be able to fight his enemy further unless he gets near to yellow, blue or white sun. He uses the same energy for his heat vision and for his other feats like hitting, punching, striking. We could assume that his heat vision could be multiple times hotter than the sun, and so do his solar flare. Now the biggest thing the Superman did, which was actually a Silver Age Superman, he pulled all the planets in the galaxy with a chain. He sneezed down a solar system. But the thing is that it was not like a sneezing. Only reason why the Silver Age Superman sneezed a solar system is because of the gases and other small cosmic particles which went through his nostril, and then he accelerated them and he made a sneeze a lot harder. Even Superman said what he does here in the comics. But a Silver Age Superman pulling the planets from a galaxy is quite a big thing. Superman also lifted Earth's weight for 5 days. But there is a problem that the other versions of the Superman have difficulty to pull a planet. He need help from others. Now I will again go back to the Silver Age Superman because he holded a small neutron star probably of a size of a cricket ball, which has a massive mass but lesser than the mass of the Earth, and then he threw that neutron star into another galaxy which is about billions light years away, and he also pushed the weight of 200 quintillion tons with his one hand, and with his two hands the weight will be doubled. You can get a detailed information about this in the article given in the link in the description. But again, Superman hold a dust-sized black hole and he was screaming. Here the Captain Atom is mentioning that the black hole is of dust size. And we know that Goku destroyed multiple times larger black hole than the dust size with ease. Now, beside the weakness of the Superman, which is a kryptonite actually, there are some other weakness like the red sun, like orange sun. But yellow sun make him charge, and the blue and white sun make him lot stronger. Everybody say that the Superman survived the 50 supernovas at a time, but you can see here that he couldn't even survive this one. Superman did not directly survive the supernova. Actually, he was far away from those supernovas. He was on a planet which had a similar atmosphere to the Earth, and we know that Earth is 93 million miles from the Sun. Mercury, which is the closest planet to the Sun, is about 36 million miles from the Sun. Therefore, it could be said that Superman was at least tens of miles from the Sun when the star went into supernova. So actually he was far away from it. And also one thing, the supernova has a mass of about 1.4 solar masses. It can be more than that, and it has a temperature of at least 6,000 times the sun's core. And also note that the intense radiation can kill Superman. Just like here, all the versions of a Superman except Prime 1 Billion has a weakness kryptonite. Kryptonite is radioactive. So kryptonite is a radioactive material. Fans usually get confused that if Superman can spend a lot of time inside the sun's core where the radiation is quite high, then how the radiation could be Superman's weakness? Well, there is a difference between the radioactive or nuclear or solar radiation. Also, different cosmic bodies emit the radiation at different frequency level, and that's the reason that Superman cannot hold nuclear explosion and he will get weak. Here, a nuclear explosion has weakened the Superman and he has to absorb the life forms because the explosion has blocked the incoming sun rays towards the Earth. So there is a difference between nuclear or radioactive radiation and the solar radiation. Okay, and you can study about it. Another weakness that Superman has is a strong force or a brute force. Doomsday, who is a planetary level, can defeat a Superman. He has a brute strength and stronger than Hulk in fact. Consequently, now we will compare the Superman and the Goku. Both these characters will be compared now. We know that Goku uses the spiritual energy, that is a key energy, and Superman uses the solar energy. Goku has attacks like Ki Blast, Kamehameha, Kaioken into 10 times or 20 times Spirit Bomb. Superman uses Heat Vision, Solar Flare, Freezing Breath. But Goku is vulnerable in his base form with his all ki removed, but he can overcome his weakness. Superman is vulnerable to kryptonite, radioactive radiation, red and orange sun. Goku's energies are self-generated through SL, while Superman is dependent on the yellow, blue and white sun. Now I have calculated the energies of both the characters, but we know that the regular Super Saiyan multiplier do not work after Dragon Ball Z, so I am considering SSJ3 Goku as a reference. SSJ3 Goku can destroy a white dwarf star and can lift about 6,000 times the weight of Earth, because he created hole in the King Sky planet in early Dragon Ball Super anime. King Sky planet has a density of about 3.5 into 10 to the power of 9 kg per meter cube. White dwarf star has a density of about 2.1 into 10 raised to the power of 9 kg per meter cube. Superman, on the other hand, has lifted Earth for 5 days continuously, but the Earth density is just 5500 kg per meter cube. Furthermore, SSJ3 Goku's blast is about 1.85184 into 10 raised to the power of 37 joules, which is enough to destroy 82,304 Earth masses. And if he use 20 times Kaioken, then it will be 3.70368 into 10 raised to the power of 38 joules, which is enough to destroy more than 1 million Earth masses. Superman dissipated total energy for the lifting Earth's weight for 5 days, which is about 5.3519179 into 10 raised to the power of 7 joules, enough to destroy about 237,863 Earth masses, which is less than 1 million. Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue Goku can use his ki energy equivalent to destroy almost all the cosmic bodies in the universe. Silver Age Superman has energy equivalent to destroy all the planets in the galaxy. But the Ultra Instinct Goku shocked the void of infinite space in the Tournament of Power. On the other hand, Superman lifted the Book of Infinite Pages, in which the DC multiverse is growing. SSJ3 Goku's speed is 960 times the speed of light, and if he use instance transmission, then it will be lot more, because instance transmission can overcome any speed. And we also know that the Super Saiyan Blue Goku is stronger than Super Saiyan God Goku, and Super Saiyan God Goku is way stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Superman travels at the speed greater than or equal to 9.4 billion km per hour, which is actually 8.70370 times the speed of light in the meter per second. Ultra Instinct Goku's speed is undefined because he moves his body automatically as per the future attacks. And Superman is inconsistent character, so it's possible that he can travel more than the speed which is mentioned here. Now here comes the last part. It's about the limitless power. It's shown that Superman is lifting the Book of Infinity, but it says that the whole multiverse is growing inside of it. Superman do mention that he saw the last page. Now if the book has infinite number of pages, then how it could have a last page? And we know that DC multiverse is not infinite, it's limitlessly growing. But the complete Ultra Instinct Goku shocked the void of infinite space just by standing in the Tournament of Powers platform. Keep note that he haven't mastered the Ultra Instinct. Many Dragon Ball fans say that Goku has mastered Ultra Instinct, but it's actually complete Ultra Instinct. Only angels like Whis are the one who have mastered it. Lord Beerus has Ultra Instinct, but it's not a mastered Ultra Instinct. Since Goku cannot unlock the Ultra Instinct by his will, he needs someone, opponent like a Jiren, who could push his limit. Then only Goku can manage to unlock the UI. However, shocking the infinite space indicate that the Goku has infinite energy in a complete Ultra Instinct form, but still I will not conclude him to be limitless. Maybe in the future Dragon Ball series we could see his Ultra Instinct form and maybe he could master it. Therefore, before I end, I will say neither Superman nor Goku is invincible. You need to understand the difference between immortality and invincibility. So I hope you like the video, and before you conclude anything, I recommend you to go through the article which is given in the link in the description. Thank you.